What's going on, everybody? It's your boy MSmash back again with another video here from TBA, aka The Bread Out. Today we're breaking down how I recreated Finesse Out the Gangway by Lil Durk and Lil Baby. Tap in. All right, boom. So we're locked in. Let's get right into it. So the first thing that I want to stress is how important it is to actually do this, because first of all, I had a great time recreating this beat, but the one thing it taught me was how minimalistic a lot of beats are, and it teaches you not only how to arrange better, how to come up with melodies better, and just overall what sounds you want to use for a certain type of beat. This quote-unquote remix kind of taught me that, and I really encourage people to give it a shot. Like, if there's a beat that you really like, try to recreate it and see where it takes you. Maybe finesse some things, switch some notes around, make it your own. You know what I mean? But in this case, this is a full-on remix, and we'll go ahead and start by the main melody, which we all know. So let's go ahead and play that. Boom. So that's the original piano, and the piano that I'm using for this melody right here, it's a VST called Scarred Piano, and it's great. It's very minimalistic, very simple UI. It sounds great. There's all these different parameters that you could change to give it a unique sound. So like, they got all these other options that you can use, which Atmos is one of my favorite ones because it creates this little atmospheric kind of sound. But the second thing we have is this second layer, which is pretty much the same thing as the original melody, but it's down an octave. So this is what it sounds like. Now, it's also worth mentioning that this isn't quite like the original. There is a little bit of a difference, but the general idea of it is pretty much almost identical. The next thing I have, it's literally another layer, but for this I'm using Nexus, and I'm using the Netherworlds preset, and that's under the piano tab. It takes you to this drop down and just pick Netherworlds, and it's literally the same melody without the root notes underneath. So it sounds something like this. Boom. So all three of those together, it kind of starts making sense. Boom. And that's what all three of them sound like together. Now, during the intro, it's just the one piano coming in, and the next instrument that I'm going to add will make sense once we hear the intro. But we got the main piano going like this, right? We got our main. Boom. And that is Octave coming in clutch, which is one of my favorite instruments and favorite VSTs. So let me pull that up here. And the one I'm using, get this out the way. Get this out the way. And I have this preset called 97 bass rolling 60s. And pretty much what I do is I roll off the knob where it says cutoff, and that cuts a lot of the high frequencies and gives it a lot more sub information. You know, have a really kind of somewhat fast attack just to make sure it swells a little bit and it's not so sharp. So it'll sound something like this. Right? And that plays in the intro. The next thing that I have is the hi-hats, right? So let's take a listen to how those sound like. Right? Very simple. Boom. Next up, we got our claps, and the clap that I'm using is this clap it's called Clap 5, and it's from a Pierreborn kit. And this is what that sounds like. Boom, right? The next instrument that I have, it's called TM88 snare, and what it's doing, it's playing along with the clap and accenting certain spots, right? So if you hear it with the clap, just to have it make sense. Boom. So the other layer to the percussions, it's one layer that it's pretty much like a perc sound. Now, it was really kind of difficult to find something that actually sounded like the original. So I got this kind of laser sound from this pack from Mod FX, which is an actual Detroit pack. So if we hear it with it, and pretty much what I did is I pitched it down to match the pitch of the perc on the original. Boom. I guess the last melodic instrument is these strings that play with the melody all together. And I'll solo these real quick just to show you what these sound like. But they, same thing with kind of like the open hi-hats, they play on the down. So a really noticeable thing, it's this effect called beam cannon that's off a Pierreborn kit, and you hear this periodically around the track. So that right there, and you hear that in pretty much every, like, maybe 16th, I don't know, I can't remember. But the real last thing that I can show you, it's the beginning crash. And I got this this crash sound right here, right? I got that off a splice. It was just one of those long EDM crashes. I just slapped that in there, and pretty much all together, this is what it sounds like. Oh, wait, one more thing that we forgot. Pretty much one of the most important ones is the 808 pattern. For this, I actually have a short spins 808 from JB Beats, I guess. But it's just a short spins 808, and what I've done to it to kind of make it like hit a little harder is I went and actually boosted it ever so slightly right here, because I want that sort of sponginess that comes with that 808 throughout the whole mix, because at the master I have a soft clipper and I want that kind of like fake duck sound. But that's the settings for that, and this is what that sounds like. Boom. So that's pretty much essentially all the melodic instruments, that pretty much everything that's happening melodically in the beat. Again, it's worth mentioning, like, this isn't 100% super accurate, but it gets us pretty damn close. And something that I want to stress about recreating beats, it teaches you a lot. It teaches you how to keep things minimalistic. It teaches you how to arrange better, how to write better melodies, and not only that, but just like just lengths of songs, how far they can go for, and stuff like that. So it's a good way to get you there as a ballpark, so you can kind of later on refinesse it, retwist it, do whatever changes you want to make, and then all you have to do is just change notes around and keep kind of like the same template, and then go from there. Boom. And all together, this is what it sounds like. Boom. So there you have it, everybody. Thank you so much for tapping in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, and if you're new to the channel, please make sure to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing. This is Smash signing out. Stay ready.